Welcome to TRL Radio with your hosts, Eric and Michelle Hall.
Your average Joe experts in simplified health. Welcome back to TRL Radio and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, this is the first episode of 2026.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
New Year. Also, this episode is launching on our anniversary.
On our anniversary. Not only any anniversary, this is our
25th year.
25th wedding anniversary.
Exciting things.
We were talking before, and we are like, is this the gold one? Is this the silver one? I like your idea. You said this was
This is the Hawaii one.
Yeah, this is the Hawaii year.
This is the Hawaii anniversary. So, anyone wants to send us to Hawaii this year, we're game.
Yeah, we're game. It's our 25th wedding anniversary, but we're ready to go.
Yeah. Don't need any wood or gold or, crystal or anything like that.
Right.
Just a wee-wee.
Yeah. I'd rather, I would much rather spend time in Hawaii and hanging out. Yeah.
I like it. Happy anniversary, babe.
Yeah, happy anniversary to you also. 2026 will be awesome.
It 100% will. As we are launching our first episode of 2026, what are we focusing on today, babe?
So it's January. Mm-hmm. And so we're all coming off of the holiday hangover
right.
of, we had Halloween, and then we had Thanksgiving, and then we had Christmas. And so we probably already started thinking about, what changes we got to make this year. You always think about a new year, resolutions.
New Year's
resolutions, right? So what are all these things that we want to do this year, these things we want to accomplish in the next year? And so it can feel like for you, which I know has felt like for us for many, many years, that as you think about your resolutions for 2026, you might be going, these sound a lot like the resolutions I made in 2025. And so it can feel like you're starting over again.
Right.
And that's okay. Like, oh my gosh, I think we've all been there before. And
we have 100% been there. We're like, okay, let's try again. Start over. Let's try again.
Yeah. Which kind of then begs the question, why do some people have success with resolutions and others don't?
Right.
Is it a person problem? Is it, if you just were more disciplined, or maybe if you were motivated more, you had more motivation or more athleticism, especially when it comes to like a health goal, right? More resources, more willpower. You hear about willpower, like all the people, you see more willpower, you get more willpower.
Right. If I had more time and money to throw at it, then I would be able to accomplish my goals.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean by resources, right? Or, and the truth of it is, it's none of those things. It's none of those things that make a difference between those who actually achieve their goals. Now, we're going to be talking specifically around health goals, but really you can put this around any goal that you put, any resolution that you put together. But no, it's none of those things. None of those things are what the factor is. And today's episode, we're going to talk about what the difference makers are.
Love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be, as the cool kids are saying, it's gonna be an absolute fire episode. Again, like I said, we're embarking on the new year. We're gonna go over 3 ways to make sure those health resolution goals finally stick.
Yep. It's gonna happen in 2026. All the things you've been wanting to do all the past years. Let's make it happen this year.
Yeah, 2026 is going to be, just like we just said earlier, it's going to be our year. It's going to be your year as well. Here's what I want to say, though, I guess, as a preface. What we're going to talk about today, and we've mentioned this, our podcast name is The Rudimentary Life Podcast. TRL Radio. The key word there is rudimentary. The things we're going to go over today are not going to be mind-blowing things. But that doesn't mean they're easy.
Right.
We can confuse simple with easy. And so with what we're going to talk about today, in these 3 ways to make sure those health resolution goals finally stick, we're not saying they're 3 easy things to do. But they're three pretty rudimentary, pretty basic things if we just can stick to them, and we'll give help in sticking to them. It's not going to be about just being more disciplined or just gritting your teeth and getting through it, right? Again, not that we're taking away effort. That makes sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So why don't you kick us off with the first one? The first one is
right mindset. Now, if you've been listening to us for any time at all, you should know the first thing that we're going to say next.
Right.
The very first question that you need to ask yourself when we're talking about mindset is, what's your why?
What is your why? The
Right.
Simon Sinek age-old question, what's your why?
Right. There has to be a why to the new resolutions you want to set, the health goals that you want to accomplish. There's a why behind it, and it has to be deeper and more meaningful than just a number on the scale.
Right. So what do we mean? Right. So the biggest thing, or I can say the biggest thing, but like it is an example. And we'll just use the number 100. Again, this is a health and wellness podcast, so we'll stay in that vein here, right? But I want to lose 100 pounds this year.
Right.
I remember sitting back in, goodness, it's had to be 2019, I think.
Yeah.
Embarking on 2020 before we knew what was coming.
Before we knew it was coming
Before
in 2020.
we knew what was coming in 2020, 2020, in 2020, before we knew 2019, I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is going to be the year. Like, I'm tired of having the same goals every year. And it's like, at that point, again, I weighed, over 300 pounds, close to 300 pounds. And I was like, I want to weigh 250. I didn't know why. 250 was just, honestly, just an arbitrary number I pulled out, like 250. That would be great to see 250 on a scale.
Right.
There was no why or method behind it.
Right. So if I was Eric's health coach at that time and he's coming to me and saying, hey, yeah, I want to lose, weight. I want to get down to 250 pounds. My first question to him would be, okay, well, why? Why that number?
And I would respond, I don't know. It just seems like that would be a good number, a somewhat healthy number. Probably be able to do a few more things than I'm not able to do now.
Okay, so tell me, what are some of those things that you feel like you can't do now, but if you hit that number 250, you think you will be able to?
Well, I'm married to an amazing woman, and
Obviously.
I have 4 kids. And part of it is like, guys, honestly, like, this is one of the things I thought, like, I mean, you look at my amazing wife right here. I'm like, I want to match my wife. Like, I feel like we don't match. Like, she's, fit and, in shape, and I'm not. So that was part of it. So I would say, like, man, I just feel like, I can kind of sometimes be embarrassed when my wife introduces me to people, because I'm like, and it happened many times where people were like, wow, that's your wife. And that, I use humor, but it sticks. Yeah. So that, my kids are active. They like playing sports, and I want to be a dad who can play sports with them, right? I want to be able to play basketball and not worry about getting hurt or looking ridiculous or things like that. I want to have more confidence. I'm always very self-conscious about the clothing I wear, and somehow I feel like being 250 pounds, I will be less self-conscious of that kind of stuff.
Right. So you said a whole bunch of things that kind of come down to that, like, oh, you want to be able to have confidence to be the husband and the father that you think you should be, that you think your wife and your kids deserve, all the things that you can't do now at your current weight, you think the number 250 is going to help you get to that. So then the next question would be, okay, well, what if you could feel all of those things, but the number was 275? What if it's not, okay, you said, I want to lose 100 pounds. What if you could feel that way, but you only lose 50 pounds? Or what if it takes 125 pounds for you to feel that way? At this point, that number is just an arbitrary number. It's the feeling that you want to get to. And as a health coach, I would tell him, like, hey, that's what you need to hang on to, because that's bigger than just yourself.
Right.
It's really easy when you just say, oh, I want to lose 100 pounds, and you don't think through that when it gets hard and when you have to give up things that you don't really want to have to give up, whether it be time to exercise or foods that you really thought you loved that are just not good for you. It's easy to throw in the towel and say, screw it, this isn't worth it. I don't want to do this anymore.
Because it is hard.
And
you're not going to see overnight success.
Nope, you're in it for the long haul. But when you start tying the people that you love to it, man, if I don't lose this weight, I feel like I'm letting down my wife or my kids. I'm not being the best version of myself for them. Now, here's the thing. We love you regardless, but that feeling for you is not going to go away, right? And so when you start tying other things to it that are important, it's a lot harder to say, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. And that's where you got to get.
Yep. Yeah. It's helpful to understand that why when you want to hit snooze. Mm-hmm. It's important to understand that why when you want to go for the second helping. It's important to understand that why when you just don't feel like it. Of being like, well, this is bigger than feeling. And again, it's not about like, all right, just grit in and more willpower, more discipline, but it's diving into that like, no. This is more important than me.
Right.
This is bigger. Unfortunately, it's easy for us to quit on ourselves. It's a lot harder for us to quit on people we care about. And so that's why understanding what your why is critical. That's why we got to know what that is and be able to actually articulate it and write it down. And we'll get to this later, but you do need to write it down. Write down your why.
Right. Yes, we promise we're not trying to be annoying. We're not trying to sound like a broken record, but figuring out exactly what your why is. And here's the thing too, it can change, and it probably will change over time, like as you reach new goals, but it's so important. It's so important. We cannot reiterate how important it is to reaching any goals. Yeah. Like you said, we're going to focus on health, but if you have financial goals or you have relationship goals, anything like that, you don't figure out what your why is, it's going to be hard to reach.
Right. I was just going to say, like, again, we're a health podcast, so we're talking about that, but like, and finances very much play into health. But if you want to save, I want to save $10,000 this year. Well, why 10,000? Why not 11? Why not 9,500? Why 10,000? What is it about $10,000 that you want to save this year?
What do you think you'll be able to do if you have that amount of money,
you go
right?
in, you do that deep work of asking those questions, and maybe you find you need to save a lot more. You know, I don't want to be in debt anymore. How much debt are you in? I'm in $500,000 of debt. All right, cool. Okay. 10,000 is a good start, but you may want to buckle up a little bit, right? So, but yeah. So anyhow, you got to do that deep work. You don't necessarily need a health coach. We're health coaches. Hey, you want help from us? Reach out. You can do it yourself, but find someone that you love and care about, that you trust, that you think would be great, and ask that person, hey, can we do this weird little exercise here? And if they know you, they'll help you get there.
Right.
Again, you can always find a certified health coach, right? But you can also do it yourself or work with someone that you care about.
Right. Just tell them, hey, I just need you to keep asking me why. Right. Maybe it's your 3-year-old. They're really good at that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, why?
Exactly. So the first of the 3 things is a right mindset. Have the right mindset. We probably already know what your goal is, right? We already set those resolutions, but what is the mindset behind the goal? Okay, now the next thing is, and you'll see that all of our things start with R. For whatever reason, we really enjoy alliterations. We're going to have our right mindset. Second one is realistic goals, right? Realistic goals. So I think the way it can be said is that if the why is like your North Star, right? The why is like, this is why I'm going, or this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Here's the direction we're heading. Then the goals will be how you know you've arrived. Okay, here's why we're going. I think about a vacation. We're going on a vacation as a family, and we're going to have a blast. We're doing it for the memes. We're doing it for the memories, right? We're doing it to hang out. We're doing it for have a blast. Okay, great. Well, where are you going? Well, we want to go to Universal Studios Orlando, right? Or whatever. That's the goal. We want to get to Universal Studios. Here's why we're going. We're going for these reasons. We want to go to Universal Studios. So the why is your North Star. The goal will be how you know you arrived. It's your overarching goal. In the example I gave, I said weigh 250, right? And your overarching goal is going to be how you know you got there. And you're going to also have some mile markers with those things as well. One of the things you may have heard of before, because this is not an original from me or from us by any stretch, but is these things called S.M.A.R.T goals, S.M.A.R.T. The S being standing for specific, M being measurable, A being achievable, R being relevant, or in our case, like, is it a healthy goal, right? And the T being timed, right? As far as like, I want to be this by this point,
There's
right?
an end date, yeah.
Right. So we want to have our goals to be that way. One of the first things that with these realistic goals, though, is we want to make sure that the goals that we're making are just that they are realistic, that it makes sense. And that when you're making your mile marker, so for instance, in the same goal, right? That's hey, I'm 300 pounds. I want to weigh 250 pounds, right? If you were to keep coaching me, right, we got my why nailed down, right? Okay, so ask me, hey, well, when do I want to achieve that or whatever? So.
Right. Okay. So you said you want to weigh 250. We talked about your why. How are you going to get there?
Well, I would like to weigh 250. Ideally, I'd really like to weigh 250 by the end of March. Like, we have January, February, March, April as we're kind of getting into spring and short. I'd really like to weigh, I guess lose, 50, 60 pounds
in 3 months.
In 3 months.
Okay. So again, if you've been listening, is that a realistic goal? We've talked about this, right?
Right.
50, 60 pounds in 3 months' time. Gosh, like, unless you're cutting limbs off, like that really, or you just stop eating entirely. That's not realistic. Healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds a week. We usually have like 4 weeks in a month, right?
Right.
So yeah, you're looking.
So even if you're losing 2 pounds every week for 4 weeks, or figure usually in a quarter, so January, February, March, right? You have 13 weeks. So if you were losing 2 pounds a week in 13 weeks, if I do the math correctly, carry the one, 26 pounds.
Right.
And I just said I want to go from 300 plus to 250 in 3 months.
Yeah. Double what would be healthy weight loss.
Right.
So you're setting yourself
That's
up
it.
for failure.
Yep.
Because when you don't see that number, even though you're putting in the work, you're going to get frustrated and you're going to be like, screw it, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Because you didn't set yourself up to succeed. You gave yourself a goal that is just not realistic.
Right.
And so that's where, as a health coach, I would say to Eric, okay, first thing you need to do is get yourself a notebook and a pen, write down that why that we talked about,
Right.
and now let's map out your goals with specific dates. Okay, we just said healthy weight loss is, 1 to 2 pounds a week. So by the end of January, okay, about 8 pounds is
Right.
what you should probably look at.
Most, right? So if you want to give yourself a little bit of grace, if you were to say, okay, if I were to lose 1 pound 1 week and 2 pounds the next week, so 3 pounds every 2 weeks.
Right.
So in a month, it'd be 6. Hey, if you
Right.
hit 8, bonus.
Right.
But to say, okay, hey, let's look at right around 6 pounds a month. Right? Let's look at 6 pounds a month. I'm not saying that you won't lose more than that.
Right.
Let's make that the mile marker goal, 6 pounds. So if you're sitting here January 1st, I know it's January 6th, but like if you're just looking, okay, January 1st, and then by January 31st, we want to be 6 pounds less. Mm-hmm. So if I was 300, I want to be 294. And then by the end of February, I want to be 288, I think. Yes, that'd be 6 more pounds, 288.
Yeah, and you just keep going.
282, and so on and so forth. And so where you eventually you're going to get to that 250 number. So you're going to have every week those numbers there. Eventually you'll be, okay, so hey, here will be the right time, the healthy time to get to 250. You may get there sooner, especially like, and I know for me, I did. Especially when you have a lot of weight to lose, you can have weeks where you lose occasionally 4 or 5 pounds in a week. That's not the norm, but just because you just have so much to lose, right? To where you wanted to lose a little bit of weight, but you never had like necessarily like a big like 5-pound weight loss in a week.
Yeah, mine was like 1.2 pounds.
Right. Because
like that.
You just didn't have as much weight to lose, right? But if you kind of reverse engineer, okay, here's this. We know we got our why, we got our overarching goal, and then you write your mile markers down backwards to say, okay, let's make this your goal. Here's the thing, and this is what happened to me. At the end of a month, I'm like, okay, my goal was to lose 6 pounds. I lost 10 pounds my first month. Now, as opposed to me being frustrated because I wanted to lose 50 pounds in 3 months, and after the first month I lost 10, and been like, I gotta lose 40 pounds the next 2 months. I know how much work I put in to lose 10. Are you serious right now? As opposed to that, it being like, okay, the goal is 6. Healthy weight loss, 1 to 2 pounds. Let's say 6 pounds for the month, and I lost 10. Let's go.
Right. It's exciting. That's exciting. Encouraging. It fires.
I didn't have, what do we have here? I didn't have any more discipline, any more motivation, any more athleticism, no more resources. I didn't have any more willpower. I just had a realistic goal that's now going to fuel me to keep going.
Yeah, it'll give you the motivation you need.
Right.
Absolutely. And then the next part is, you're measuring out, okay, if I want to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, do that. But in that notebook, the next thing you need to do is take measurements, because we know that our weight can fluctuate, our weight can stay the same, but your body can still change.
Yep.
Like, how many times did the scale not move, but you'd measure your arms or your calves or your waist and you'd be like, dang, I lost 2 inches in the last 2 weeks. Okay, that's a huge difference. No, the scale didn't move, but something's going on. I'm, maybe building more muscle and, lost some fat, and that kind of evened out, which is why I'm not seeing it on the scale. But all of a sudden my pants are fitting more comfortably. If you take the time to measure your chest, your arms, your waist, your hips, your quads, your calves, all of these different body parts that you want to see changing, measure them. We did it, monthly?
Yes, yeah.
That way it wasn't like a weekly thing.
Yeah, don't measure it weekly, because you're not going to see big changes every week, and that could get, for one, it takes a little bit of time to do all those measurements. It can get super frustrating.
Right.
I would say every month and the things like what you just said, your chest, your arms, also do each arm, especially around your bicep, each arm individually, your waist, your hips, your quads, right and left, your chest, your calves, right and left. Yeah, your right and left chest, your calves, right and left, right. Kind of like at the thickest part of all those things. Measure there, right? Once a month. That's what's going to be super important to do that. And then, like we just keep saying, write it down.
Yeah.
Write it down. Like, I still have my notebook of every month when I wrote down my measurements, and I kept track of that. That's why I can say, hey, I lost 165 pounds and 5 feet of fat. That's not a guess. Like, we wrote it down and we added it up. Yeah.
And honestly, that's, for the most part, that's where you're going to see the biggest results, is in the inches. I mean, not that obviously you lost 165 pounds. That's a huge amount of weight.
Right.
We joke and say, oh, you lost a 5 foot, 165 pound person. You know what I mean? But like, those inches were going to add up faster than the pounds are going to come off. And that'll be encouraging and will motivate you to keep going.
Yeah. So get yourself a notebook and start writing this stuff down. Write your start day, your start date, your start weight, your start measurements every week. Don't weigh yourself every day. I guess that's in my opinion. Don't weigh yourself every day. Weigh yourself at the exact same time every week. So for me, I think it was Friday morning. I can't remember now. I think it was like Friday morning is when I would weigh myself, and then I would write it down. So weigh yourself at the same time, roughly every week, and then do the measurements every month. So we mentioned that we want to have the
mindset.
Right mindset. That's right. Right mindset. Realistic goals. And then the last one, we're going to use our word, rudimentary setup. So rudimentary setup. By that we mean just To get started, especially with the health goals, you don't need a lot.
Right.
You don't need much to get started. You need very little to get started. And that's what we want to talk about is the rudimentary setup. So one of the things that's critical, and obviously in weight loss, is exercise and movement. So with exercise and movement, simple. It is not going to the gym every day for hours on end. It is not having to pump serious iron, which, by the way,
nothing against.
Neither wrong, nothing bad or nothing's wrong with either of those things.
If having a gym membership is what motivates you because you're paying for it, you have friends that you're meeting, there's equipment that you like to use, then have a gym membership.
Get it. Yep.
Like that's totally fine. You do not need it though, however, to have success.
No, I'm thinking about like me. At my biggest, like I would have been embarrassed and like I would have felt out of place at the gym. Like I wouldn't have known how to use the equipment. And I wouldn't have asked anybody. Are you kidding me? I'm going to ask somebody. I'm going to be a 300-pound person walking in and being like, hey, how do you use this? They're going to be like, come on, pal. And they could have been great there.
Right.
In my mind, that's how it just wouldn't have stuck. I would have thought of every excuse in the book to not go. So we just did daily movement. Daily movement, at least something for 20 minutes every day if you can. With the caveat of always something is better than all or nothing. For whatever reason, you don't have 20 minutes because it's a busy day. Maybe you just freaking forgot. And you're like, dang it, I'm supposed to move 20 minutes today. Now I only got 12. Then move for 12 that day.
Right.
It doesn't have to be something intense. Always something is better than all or nothing. Because then it'd be like, well, we'll just get started next week. Well, I'll just get started tomorrow. Well, there's always a reason to not do what you're supposed to do today and then to get started with it tomorrow. Always something is better than all or nothing. Just daily movement. It could be a walk. It could be body weight movements, just something.
Right. And we've made something to help with that.
Yes.
If you're someone who is just getting started, you're like, okay, yeah, I want to move. What do I do?
Right.
Like, I just do 20 minutes of stomach crunches? Like, do I, like for one, oh my gosh, kill me now. That sounds terrible.
Goodness.
But what do I do? So we have just, when I say simple workout, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily simple to do, but it is exercises that anyone can do because they're very easily modifiable. If you want to progress up, if you're like, okay, this is a little too easy, there's very easy ways to modify it up and to progress it up. But it's 12 exercises that anyone can do, and you don't need equipment to do it. I think like one or two of them might use a chair for stability or, things like that. I think most
of us have some kind of chair at home, right?
Yeah, right. I would think couch, something.
Right. Stairs even, right?
Right. Friend to lean on. But yeah, super simple exercises. Again, they'll make you sweat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we'll have that. We'll link the YouTube.
Yeah, so that'll be on our YouTube channel. We'll have a link to it right in the bio. Right in our. We can go to our YouTube channel, so that'll be in there. But also in the show notes, we'll have a link to that workout. And the workout is what's called Tabata style. And all Tabata means is that you do it as best as you can, as hard as you can, for 30 seconds, and then you get a 30-second break, and then you move to the next exercise. You do it as best and as hard as you can for 30 seconds. So you take a 30-second break. The 12 exercises. If you do the math right, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 12 exercises, that should be a 12-minute workout. You can then say, I want to go through that whole round again. Now it's a 24-minute workout. Maybe after the 24 minutes, you're like, that was great. Maybe you feel that was still too easy. Instead of going 30-30, go 45 on, 15 off. You'll find that 15 seconds makes a huge difference.
Right. But you're still keeping it at a 12 or 20
minute or 24 minute.
Yeah.
Or if you're really feeling crazy, you can go 36-minute workout, right? And you could do that same workout every single day. It's a full body. It's gonna be resistance training as well. So it's got everything involved, from building muscle to cardio to abs to legs to start there.
Right.
Start there. There'll be a link there. let us know on the YouTube page. Like, let us know. Make sure, for one, you're subscribed there, but then let us know what you think. You know, how many times did you do it? What did you think about it? What did you like? What didn't you like? Whatever. Let us know on that.
Absolutely. And the thing is, so when we got started, we did spend a little bit of money. We got 2 yoga mats.
Yep.
Because we have hardwood floors, and
We got them from where? Target?
yes, the very fancy boutique Target. I think either that or probably Amazon, or I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Oh, maybe was it? Might have been BJ's. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But regardless, we got 2 yoga mats. They're not crazy expensive. They're probably more expensive now than they were back then because everything is. But not crazy expensive. Get yourself a yoga mat if you want. If you don't, that's fine too. You do it on hardwood or carpet or whatever. And I think we had 3 sets of dumbbells.
Right.
I think we had like little
2s?
2-pounders. We had 5-pounders, and then we had 10-pounders.
Yep.
I think all total we spent less than $100 on all of that, because weights, they definitely can get pricey, but with it being the smaller, like they weren't crazy. So definitely less than $100. That gave us a little bit of weight so that we could move up as things got easy. We were doing just body weight exercise. It's like, oh, well, let's add some 2 pounds to this. Makes it harder. Let's add 5 pounds. And this is getting more. Okay, well, now let's go to 10. So it was a very little investment, and it gave us different things we could add to our workout. The good thing is I feel like anytime we invest in something, if there's money on the line, it helps us stick to it more. Right. Like you've got to have a little bit of skin in the game. So whatever the investment looks like for you, maybe you're like, yeah, I can't spend $100 on this right now, but you can get a set of, 2-pound weights, and those will probably cost you like $10. Start there, get a $20 yoga mat. Okay. So you have 2 pounds in a yoga mat, or like, if you're like, use cans of.
That's just to say, like, I mean, I'm sure you can find a 2-pound something at your house that you have that you could use, that you could, that you could carry. You could use a towel. The only thing about a towel is it might move on you if you're, especially if you're on a hardwood floor or some kind of hard floor. But use what you have. We'll put some links and, some of the things that we purchased, whatever.
But here's the thing, like, we invest in so many things.
Right.
We spend money on so many things. And if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of those things are frivolous. Your health is not frivolous.
Nope. It is your most important asset.
Yeah. So we're not saying go out and spend $1 million. Trust us. We could, the products that are out on the market today, there's some really cool things. We could spend thousands of dollars if we had it. But we don't. And we're okay at this point saying, maybe one day we'll have, a sauna. Maybe one day we'll have, whatever. But we don't need that to be successful. Find what it is. Like, make the investment that works for you. Right? There are things that would be helpful to get you to stick to it that aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg. And you're worth it.
Yes.
You're worth that investment.
Yep. Yeah. And you don't need the over-analysis paralysis, like of deep diving into what weights are the best or what. Just get started.
Right.
Find something, do it, and get started. Like, you don't need to dive into the deep weeds of all these different things. Well, man, for recovery, I could really do this, that, or the other thing. Don't worry about it. Like, just get started.
Yep.
And you don't need a ton of space. Like, in our living room, it's literally, at best, an 8x8 living room floor.
Right.
Like, we didn't have a ton of room. The exercises that we're putting on the YouTube page do not require a lot of room. One of the things you're talking about is like using the weights. One of the workouts we have is like, it's a step up, whether it be you're stepping up on a stair or stepping up on the chair, like we were talking about. Sometimes if you're doing that, holding 5-pound weights, you're suddenly holding 10 more pounds if you have a dumbbell in each hand with 5 pounds. And you're stepping up, like, you will feel a difference there, 100%. Right? A way to modify up. So, So in regards to basic setup, like, that's it. You don't need much in regards to exercise and movement to get started. You need very little, actually. Small investment.
Right.
If honestly you're like, I can't afford a thing, that's okay. You go to that YouTube page of ours, do that workout, follow it. You can do it without anything, right? So, absolutely. Next thing, food. Obviously, food's going to be a critical part of wanting to hit health goals, how you're going to eat. So again, getting yourself set up for success with food, not complicated. Not that it's necessarily easy, not complicated.
Yeah, you do not need to go spend thousands of dollars on quote unquote healthy foods.
Right.
Like we didn't have that.
Nope.
We did not do that.
Nope.
But we did set ourselves up for success. And
Right.
the very first thing we did is we went through our cupboards and we were like, okay, what are the things that are in here that are just going to constantly be temptation for us? We know, even before we knew everything that we know now, okay, we know the bag of Doritos is not healthy and we're not going to be able to have an appropriate serving size. We're going to eat the whole darn bag.
Right.
Let's get rid of these. Let's get rid of all the overly processed, highly, chemical filled, sugar laden foods. And here's the thing, I feel like we were born in the 80s and maybe you were too, maybe you weren't, but there was always this feeling of guilt at the dinner table that your parents would be like, there's starving children in Africa, you better eat your food. And so throwing anything away,
Right.
we still have that
We're part of the clear your plate generation.
yes, you must,
yeah.
you cannot leave the table until your plate is
Right.
cleared because there's people that are hungry. So as you go through your cupboards, it might be difficult. That was kind of hard. I'm throwing this food away. Here's the thing. The starving children around the world don't want your Doritos. They're not, it's
Right.
okay. Get rid of it.
They're
Don't
better
give them
without
all
that.
the junk food. If you feel bad and you want to donate in other ways, donate in other ways. But don't feel bad throwing out the crap food that's in
Right.
your cupboards.
Right.
No one wants it. No one needs it.
Yep. Get rid of the things that you know are not going to be the most helpful to hitting your goals. I'm not saying you're never going to eat or that we've never ate a Dorito again
Right.
or a spicy Cheeto, right? You can have it again.
Right.
But if you want to be serious about hitting those goals, get rid of them now, right? I'm not saying it's never going to cross your lips again. But listen, if you're looking to lose weight, you got to get serious about it. Let's remove that temptation, right? Be all in on yourself. You mentioned that with the working out, you're worth it. Mm-hmm. Listen, you're worth it. You're worth throwing those Doritos out. And Doritos is taking a pounding right now, right?
I do love Doritos. I will say that. Cool Ranch Doritos, delicious. Every once in a while is a treat, but
Yeah, so right, the chocolate chip cookies, right? The things that you're like, okay, I need to just buckle down and let's get moving here.
because I know I'm not going to be able to say no.
Right.
You're trying to set yourself up for success. Again, remember, that's what we're focused on here is how can we best set ourselves up to hit the goals that we want to hit.
Yep, and it's going to be hard to start, but it will get easier. I promise it's not necessarily ever going to be easy, but it gets easier. Also, too, one of the things that you said before is abs are made in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. Don't allow all the work you do with movement and exercise to be ruined in the kitchen.
Yeah, because we can 100% do that where you're like, oh, I just had a great workout. I've worked out Monday through Friday this week and I feel amazing. Okay, this weekend I'm going to go out and undo everything that I
Right.
just did because, I've earned it. Okay, again, we're not saying you can't have treats or, splurge on things occasionally, but if you have that mindset every week, any weight or inches you lose, you're going to put back on,
Right.
instantly. You cannot undo everything in the kitchen. Abs are, like you said, abs are first made in the kitchen.
Yeah. Yep. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Mm-hmm. If everything stays the same, then everything will stay the same. So make those changes.
Right.
So that way you see those changes. And make those changes easier for you, right? So it's easier to make a change when the thing you're swapping out is of equal or greater value, right? So we're swapping out the Doritos. What's something that we can do instead that's going to be of equal or greater value? Sometimes we eat Doritos because, for one, they're convenient. They're easy. You grab them, you open them, they're good, and they taste really good, right? Let's make it easy to eat the foods that are more helpful to the goals we're trying to hit, right? So that way it doesn't feel as big of a sacrifice to be a lot of times okay, first thing, we get rid of all those foods that aren't supposed to be there. Then we have empty cupboards and then we're like, well, now I'm starving. What do I do now, right?
Right. And like you said, most of the things we're getting rid of are things that are just ready, to go at our fingertips. Oh, I can just grab this and go. Because we're busy and life is crazy. So, of course, those are the things we want in our house. So if you're getting rid of the, packaged processed foods, what do we replace it with that's also easy
Right.
to grab and quick? And this is where setting yourself up in the kitchen by doing food prep
Yep.
is really going to come into play here. And you want to find a day. And I imagine if you don't have a schedule where you are like, oh, this is my grocery shopping day, I would honestly very highly recommend doing that, of taking time to make a schedule of saying, okay, I'm going to grocery shop this day, and then I'm going to food prep this day. And maybe it's the same day because you don't have a million people you're shopping for. For me, we shop for 6 people, but then all the friends that come over, and I feel like our house, we always have extra people at the dinner table. So
Right.
in reality, I'm shopping for anywhere from 6 to 10 people for a meal. It takes a while, and then to prep all that food in the same day, like that doesn't work for me.
Right.
So you got to find out what works for you, but you want to do your food prep. So your fruits and your veggies and things like that, wash them, have them chopped and packaged in containers or baggies or whatever makes it easy for you to just grab it. And as I say this, I understand that a bag of carrot sticks is different than a bag of Doritos.
Right.
Like, we understand. It's like
But
saying,
if nothing changes, nothing changes.
right. It's like saying, oh, well, just replace, mayo with mustard. My dear, those are 2 very different things.
Right.
You got to replace mayo with a better mayo,
Right.
which is why we use avocado mayo.
Right.
Love it. Great.
And there are some better, again, still want to eat in moderation, some better chippy type
right.
options that are out there.
Things that you can buy. Because, yes, we want to try and make as many things homemade as we can because we know what ingredients are going in
Right.
those, right? But there are companies out there doing their best to provide people with the most unprocessed foods that they can that are still grab and go things.
Right.
There's a lot of companies that we've researched and looked into, and we
Yeah.
found some amazing snacks.
Yeah, some of the snacks things that we do is there's a company called Paleo Valley that has beef sticks. There's a company called Laird that has really good protein bars. A company called Lesser Evil that has a bunch of different varieties of popcorn.
Delicious.
There's Top Seeds crackers. And we'll put links to these different things in our in the show notes, so you can just take a look and say, oh, let's go grab these, right?
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that especially when I was losing weight, is hummus became one of my favorite dips, right? So especially if you had like those carrot sticks already cut or the sugar snap peas, it's not the same as chips and dip. So I'm not a moron. That's not what I'm trying to say.
But it's flavorful and it's crunchy.
Yep.
And you can get hummus in a variety of flavors. If you like spicy, there's spicy hummus.
Yep.
If you like spinach or pepper, or there's a whole bunch of
Yep.
different variety there.
Cottage cheese, raw mixed nuts, even dark chocolate is really good for you if you have, again, probably 70 to 80% of it being actually the dark chocolate. And having that can be good for you. Put that in some of those, raw mixed nuts. So those things can be really good. If you go to our website, we'll have a variety of recipes that we'll be putting up there of snack things that'll be like, oh, you can make things ahead of time. Spoiler alert, protein balls, we'll talk about a little bit later, but super good to be able to just grab them out of the fridge and eat them. Very tasty and healthy. So
Yeah, you want to, moral of the story, you want to have things that are easy to grab, because if you have to do work, let's be honest, we're lazy.
Right.
When we're hungry, we're hungry. I want food now.
Right.
Don't care how, I want it now. As what was Veruca? What was it from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Was that who said it? I don't know. I thought you just made that up. I was like, babe, that rhymed.
Yeah, no, it's the song. Yeah, I'm really smart. No, when you're hungry, you want something now. I don't want to have to make it. Our kids joke that, man, you've turned us into an ingredient household. We have a lot of ingredients, good ingredients, but you have to use them to make something.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of pre-made snacks.
Yes.
So
unless we take the time
to make them.
So set yourself up for success by taking that time to prep your food.
Yep.
And along with that, so I've always been a very organized person.
Yes.
So that part was easy for me. I know that that's not easy for everyone, staying organized, but if you can take the time to organize your fridge, organize your pantry, your cupboards, whatever your kitchen looks like, keep it organized so that you don't buy all these healthy fruits and vegetables. They get pushed to the back of your fridge. You didn't food prep them. And guess what? Especially things like berries. in a couple of days, those things are moldy. Like
Right.
if you forgot that they were there, you just not only did you waste money, you wasted good snacks that you could be eating, and it's frustrating. So if you stay organized, really take care of that food prep, keeping your pantry organized with the, oldest stuff in front and the newer stuff goes behind, all these different kinds of things, I'm telling you, it's not gonna be easy, but it will make life easier
Right.
as you're trying to make these healthy decisions to reach these goals that you set for yourself.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we invested in that helped encompass all this for us that we would highly endorse for everybody. Everyone doesn't have to, but we found that it was, to say life-changing is not an understatement, or it's not an overstatement at all. Like it was life-changing for us, is the S.M.A.R.T app. So that's Center spelled CENTR. It has a litany of body weight exercises, everything from 3 minutes up to if you want to do a 45-minute workout. It has, as you progress up and you're like, I want to do strength training, it has a lot of really great strength training things. It has hundreds of recipes that are organized by breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. You can organize it by the diet you have.
Right, yeah, if you have gluten allergies, if you're vegan, vegetarian, like all these different things, it has options for everyone.
Yeah, a variety
different
of trainers.
tastes,
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, just a variety of tastes. If you're like, oh, my kids won't eat this or that, like there's something for everyone.
It's kind of cool because you can go through and you can pick the recipes you want and then the serving size, like, okay, I'm making this for 5 people or whatever. And then you can add it to a shopping cart. And then when you go shopping, you can just pull up that shopping cart and there's all the things you can, it's all right there for you to buy. It is not an expensive investment. It does give a little skin in the game. You get a variety of workouts to choose from, variety of trainers. It does have also meditations in there, different blogs to learn a lot more things of why things are working or whatever. Anyhow, we would highly recommend it. So we'll put a link right into the show notes to S.M.A.R.T. If you use that link, not only will you get 15% off, you'll get a free trial. So you can try it out for a bit and see if you like it. If you don't, then don't stay with it. We tried it out and we were like, yes, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And you'll get 15% off membership as well as anything you spend there. So you can actually buy dumbbells and stuff there as well. Yoga mats as well.
Yep, all the things.
So highly endorse Center. So, and one of the last things we'll talk about in regards to rudimentary in regards to rudimentary setup is support.
Yeah.
You want to have some support. You don't want to do this alone. So the first thing you want to support is yourself. We've already talked about it. You're worth it. Invest in yourself. And by this, we mean schedule. Schedule once important. When you schedule something, it's a non-negotiable. I think about like at work, if I have something on the schedule, unless the customer cancels for whatever reason, I'm going to be there.
Right.
It's blocked off. I'm going to do it. You have to treat your health the same way. So schedule your sleep. By that, I mean, I'm going to bed at this time and I'll be waking up at this time. And unless something crazy happens, that's non-negotiable. Schedule your exercises. I'm getting up at 6 and I'm going to work out. Schedule your meal planning. You already mentioned that. Hey, when are you going to chop those veggies? When are you going to chop the fruits? When are you going to organize that fridge? When are you going to get your dinners prepped and ready so that way it's easier to eat healthy?
Right.
Schedule what's important.
It will feel like homework when you
Yes.
start. It'll feel the most difficult when you start. I will say this, it never gets easy where it's like, oh, this is super easy. Having to do all this food prep is super easy. But it does get easier.
Right.
And it just becomes second nature where you don't have to think about it as much. Like it's more of, oh, I need to take purposeful time to really hash over all these things in the beginning. It doesn't remain that way. It does get easier. I promise.
Right. By calendarizing it, like as we're sitting here, we're looking, we have on our wall right here, this thing it's actually called the Big Ass Calendar. The reason why is it's a big calendar. You have the full 365-day calendar all in one view. So you can write down all the things of when you're going to schedule. You can write down your big goals. We talked about keeping a journal, but you can write, okay, on this date, I want to be weighing this much weight. On this date, I want to weigh. On this day, I'm going to meal prep. On this day, and you can see your whole year. You can say, hey, my overall why is I want to run a 5K. There's a 5K coming up on this. I'm blocking that day off. I will be ready for that 5K on that day or whatever. Use that calendar. It's great because you can see everything right there. You don't got to flip pages. It's dry erase. It has different
it comes with color-coded stickers. So if you're like, okay, I want, my weigh-ins, I want to mark those with a certain color. We're going to mark them green or whatever. Okay, well, I'm going to use those stickers, and that's how I'm going to know, like, be able to look at it from afar and not be able to read it. And I see the stickers and I see the colors and all the stuff. Just whatever works for you, you can organize it according to your life.
Right. Yep. And again, so we'll put a link to that as well in the show notes because there's exclusive discounts if you work with us in getting that calendar. It's awesome. Like we use it for a lot of things.
And they do have like planner style too. If you're like, no, I don't want it on my wall. I want, like, they do have smaller versions. They have a whole bunch of different options.
Yeah. If you're a teacher, they have classroom versions, so if you have some big goals you have for your classroom as well. So pretty cool stuff, but we'll put a link to that as well. So support yourself and then also support from others. We've already mentioned a few of these things. Share your why with a trusted friend. Ask them to lovingly hold you accountable. For me, you were the biggest person for that, but even my kids helped out with that, I had some other friends as well, but share it. I mean, share it with us. We would love to hear about people's goals and what they're doing. And we'd love to cheer you on and be an encouragement
100%.
To you.
Yeah. Yeah. We want to be, your cheerleaders.
Yeah.
In any way that we can, because we know how important it was to have those people in our lives.
Yep.
And having experienced it, we want to be that for as many people as we can. So share your stuff with us. Like, we would love to cheer you on.
Yep. Share it with, we talked about how a lot of times your why will bring in other people. Share it with the people that your why will affect. Share it with them because it'll help it to stick as well. Find other people who are on the same goal with you. It's January. This should be pretty easy to find a lot of people who are looking to make health changes. Find them. Make that your community. Share your things with them. And then honestly, use social media to your benefit. Share, like I already mentioned, share it with us, whether it be in the comments of the podcast or whether it be right in our own socials on Instagram. Share it. We would love to cheer you on. People that cheered us on was... we had a guy named Sean Stevenson who still, is cheering us on. We would recommend listening to his podcast called the Model Health Podcast. That'll help influence you as well. I will put a link to that podcast right in here as well. He also has books and recipes, and highly recommend getting him in your life. Dr. B, Dr. Will Balsowitz, awesome human being. He has books. He is part of a company called Zoe. They have great things going on, recipes. Another good friend of ours is Dan Churchill. He has a cookbook. So we'll put links to this stuff in the show notes. The reason why we're saying all this is that the more resources you can bring in from podcasts and books, the more information that'll keep you excited about what you're doing. I know I'll come home from listening to the Model Health Podcast and I'll be like, babe, the latest episode. Oh my gosh, Sean brought on this guest.
Added this guest book to my list of books that I want, of my 500 books that I want.
And again, we've already mentioned it before, but S.M.A.R.T. We would really recommend S.M.A.R.T. So, so those are the things. So that's it, right? Those are the things the three things that don't require motivation, discipline, athleticism, minimal resources, if any at all, right? Right mindset, realistic goals, and rudimentary setup, right? Those are the three things. You get those and you will have success. 2026 will be your year. What do you want to...
When you look back, as you're looking at 2027, when we're, December 2026, what do you want to look back and say, man, I did it.
Yeah.
I accomplished it. I finally stuck to it, and I don't have to start again. Like, I did it. I can pick a new goal for 2027. Like, think of future you.
That's it.
Make future you proud by doing these things today. That was literally the mindset that we had as we finally accomplished goals that we thought were never possible.
Yeah, one day you will meet future you. You will meet the you in December of 2026. Do you want the you in December of 2026 to say, man, we quit again? Or do you want it to be like, dang, you did it? Like you just said, make that version of you proud. We have some other helps, though. Keep going with that.
Going to here?
Yeah. No, right here. That we were those people that we have our first 8 podcasts.
Gotcha. So yeah, like we said, we were those people who were like, yeah, resolutions just don't stick for us.
Right.
We started over again
We regularly
and again
make
and
future
again.
us not proud.
Right, for years. And so we understand what that feels like, which is, again, why we're trying to set you up for success. If this is the first episode you've ever heard from us, go back and listen to the first 8 episodes. Literally everything that you need to have a successful 2026 is in those episodes.
Yep.
We dive deeper into some of the things that we just talked about, and talk even more about the sleep and the stress in your life and all these different things that when you tackle them head on and in a way that maybe you probably haven't thought of, because we hadn't thought of it, but it was all things that changed for us over, 18 months time that we learned. It was like, oh, wow, this is a big part of health. I never would have thought this was a health thing.
Right.
But they were things that played into us losing weight and getting healthy as a family. So go back, listen to those 8 episodes, and we do have more coming that's just going to be awesome and helpful. And so please stay tuned.
Yeah. Those 8 episodes are a masterclass in weight loss.
Right.
So definitely listen to those. Like always, we have a rudimentary ritual.
Yep.
Rudimentary ritual. Yep.
That's me. Okay, so we're talking about organizing. We're talking about setting ourselves up for success. We joke constantly, one of the worst parts of being an adult is having to pick what's for dinner every day for the rest of your life.
Right.
Yeah, that sucks. Like I can say as a mom of 4, even though my 4 children are all adults now, it still sucks. And it can be overwhelming because you're like, oh, this person doesn't like this. And this person, like, oh, they don't really, whenever I make this, someone turns their nose up. Or like, okay, I feel like we've had, burgers or we've had quesadillas like 20 times in the past month. I don't know what to do. So I had this idea. I got a big bag of popsicle sticks, like the fat tongue depressor
like the craft
type.
ones, right?
Yeah,
like the craft supplies or whatever.
Yep, popsicle sticks. It was 75 of them, and it was definitely less than $5, probably like $2. And I went through my recipe books. Like I have a bunch of cookbooks that I bought, but then I also have just a binder full of recipes that I've collected over the past probably 20 years. Mm-hmm. And I wrote down some of our most favorite meals on the popsicle sticks. And I honestly filled up like 70 of them, which was shocking. I didn't realize, I make 70 different meals on a regular basis. But I wrote them all down, put them in a jar. The plan was, okay, every week right now we have 5 people that actually live in the same household. So every week, everyone picks at least 1 popsicle stick. They can either pick it at random if they want, or if they're searching for something, that's fine too. But everyone picks 1 meal, something that they will look forward to, right? I also have the right to veto anything that's picked. If someone's like, oh, I want lasagna this week, and I'm like, dang, I don't have a night that gives me enough time to make lasagna. Like that's a little bit more of a time-consuming meal. Okay, so we'll have that one next week. Pick a different one. But here's the thing. Now I don't have to pick all the meals. Everyone in our family has at least 1 meal that they're looking forward to. And they're usually a little bit more willing to help with that 1 meal that they're looking forward to. So as we pick them, they go up. I have like a chalkboard. I write, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I look at my schedule. I plan out, okay, I do have time for lasagna this week, but Thursday is the best day for me. So that's when I'm going to do lasagna. Okay, Wednesday's a crazy evening, so we're going to do grilled cheese sandwiches. You plan it all out. You put it on your board, and then those ones that have been used go in a separate jar.
If you want more
welcome to TRL Radio with your host, Eric Michelle Hall.
Your average Joe experts, head over to
rudimentary
rudimentarylifecom.
Okay,
There,
cool. We
you'll
put
be
them
able to
all back
find
in and
all the
start over
things,
again.
show notes,
We've
videos,
been at it now, I
step-by-step
would say,
instructions
for
for
a
each
couple
recipe,
months,
more ways
and
to connect with
it
us
actually
and join
seems to
in with
stick.
whatever shenanigans we're getting
Because
into.
we've tried a lot
Yeah,
of
and for
different things,
extra
and
credit,
I have not kept
leave us a
at
rating
any of
on your
them.
favorite
It's
listening
just
app.
difficult, but
We
this,
definitely appreciate
people,
all the love.
if someone's
Thanks for
busy and they
listening.
haven't been around,
we'll see you
people
next
say,
time.
"Oh, I haven't picked a stick in a while." Okay, we'll pick two this week.
Right.
Even our 20-some-year-old kids still get excited about it.
Yeah.
So try it. See if that works for you. Like I said, it's been working for us for at least the past 4 or 5 months, I would say. And it makes my life easier.
Yeah.
And I appreciate anything that makes my life easier.
Yeah, and
So,
it is fun. Like, I look forward to picking the stick.
picking a stick.
Yep.
Yep.
So every episode we like to share a recipe. This one we'll share 2. And it kind of goes in regards to like the snacking and quick, healthy, easy meals or foods or whatever. Is we have overnight oats. So we'll have, especially like, Sundays before church or whatever, we'll grab some overnight oats to eat before we go. That way it's not like running through a coffee shop and getting a, artificial sugar laden, latte drink, Danish or whatever. So overnight oats are delicious. There's also tons of different varieties of them, which is great. You meal prep. I know, obviously, you meal prep them. I try to help out when I can, but you're able to make seems like 15 of them in 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely less than 30 minutes, and you can make a bunch.
So overnight oats, game changer, as well as protein balls. This is like mentioned earlier. You want to grab one of these 1 or 2 little protein balls. That has good ingredients. Again, there's a variety of flavors you can do. If you want to do some for different seasons or holidays or whatever flavors people like. And then it's a good protein and a good way to snack when you want something to just grab or go man, I'm hungry, I want something right now. Grab a protein ball. They're filling and delicious.
And usually both overnight oats and protein balls have a little bit of a sweetness to them. So if you have a sweet tooth, it's not overly sweet where it's like, oh gosh, I'm having dessert for, breakfast. But at the same time, I have a sweet tooth. I like sweet.
Yeah.
So those are things that if I'm looking for something sweet, I will grab. Overnight oats, protein balls, things like that.
Yeah, they're really good. So those recipes will be up on our website. We'll put a link to those in the show notes as well. A lot of links in the show notes today.
Lots of links
So make sure you go there, check that out. But otherwise, that's our episode for you today. We hope we find it helpful. Hopefully it helps you to make 2026 your year. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoy the show. Yeah. We hope you found practical tips and tricks that can change your life, that can change your family's life, that can improve your life. And again, like we said, help to make 2026 your year.
Yeah, here's to an amazing 2026, friends.
Yeah, sharing is caring. If you like the show, share it out, tag us. What are your goals? We want to know what they are. We want to cheer you on to getting them. So let us know what your goals are. You can share either this podcast episode right out from however you're listening, or you can go ahead and screenshot this, put it right on your social media. Let us know what your goals are.
Love it.
We have a ton coming. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Yeah,
have a great day.
See you next time.
See you next time. If you want more of Eric and Michelle Hall and TRL Radio in your life, and honestly, who doesn't, head over to therudimentary.life.com.
There, you'll be able to find all the things, show notes, videos, step-by-step instructions for each recipe, more ways to connect with us and join in with whatever shenanigans we're getting into.
Yeah, and for extra credit, leave us a rating on your favorite listening app. We definitely appreciate all the love.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.